I think there's a bunch of things that are happening maybe at the same time, but over the last 3 to 4 years with the pandemic and the recession and this volatility in the market, I think there's this desire by both advertisers, marketers, as well as agencies to kind of make sure that the money they spend gets a return on ad spend. You're seeing agencies with these outcome departments. You're seeing CMOs looking for those diversification of spend. So as an industry, there's a trend towards performance advertising. That's one. The second thing is that if you think of folks who are doing a good job in performance, you're thinking about search and social. So they all buy search and social. However, the problem is those are fairly mature businesses and they're maxed out and there's not much more they can give them. So there's this opportunity to go beyond search and social in the open web, which we love. But the problem is it's fairly fragmented. And we're seeing this at this event. We're here at Possible in Miami. Many companies doing different things. But from the advertiser point of view, they have to know a new dashboard, a new account management team, maybe not enough scale, different ways of doing things. So it's difficult for the advertiser to find an alternative to search and social. So with Realize, it's kind of the market we're going after. We did a good job with native advertising space, which was great for performance advertising, but it wasn't enough. Advertisers want more than just that. So with Realize, we're going after the entire performance advertising market. We estimate there's about $30 billion of budgets on social that advertisers are getting diminishing returns. And if you talk to any advertiser, ask them about their CPA, cost per acquisition trend. At the beginning, it's always great. But then as they keep spending, it gets more expensive. And the last dollar spent is somewhat always a waste of money. And the second dollar from the end is a waste of money. And all in, there's about $30 billion that should leave social and go to publisher sites, go to the open web. And we're very focused on that, as well as EdTech, where we think we can create a lot of value. So with Realize, we want to be a walled garden, but open, like outside of the walled garden, serving the entire open web.
Love it. And as you mentioned, you've long championed the open web. So what's your vision of its future in an era where walled gardens, like as you've just mentioned, with social, TikTok, Meta, Amazon, continue to seem to grow stronger?
I'm very optimistic. And for the following reason, I'll be very specific. One, I think the open web serves a very specific need for humanity, right? We go to social to get user-generated content. It's entertaining. But the open web, which is driven a lot by a diverse group of editors and writers who care about what they write, as you know, so much. This is where you want our children to go to when they make decisions about things that truly matter: science, technology, news and information, even entertainment. So the open web is has this curiosity graph that consumers go to learn things that have some editorial value behind them. So one, I think it matters. I'm optimistic because I think the industry of open web and journalism matters. God help us if our children will make decisions based on social media. So that's one. Two, if you think about the AI revolution, that is all what we're talking about these days. I think publishers have yet to truly adopt AI in a bigger way. If you go to most homepages on the internet, it's fairly static still today. If you open TikTok, For You page, it's super personalized. They're super serving you, just you. What if every page on the internet had a similar kind of vibe and personalization and experience like we do get from the social companies? So that I think is an opportunity. LLM is an opportunity. We're seeing a way to converse with different engines. What if it was available on the open web? So I think in general, there's such a jump between where we are now as a baseline for the open web in terms of how more personalized it can be. What if the internet was all about me or you or us? So better you than me. So I think that's the second thing. And the third one is the average revenue per user, ARPU. If you think about how much money a user is worth to a publisher in the open web, it's still fairly low in comparison to search and social. So what if we can better monetize? What if we can be more relevant, show ads in a more relevant way to consumers? What if they would engage with those ads more? What if we can get realized to perform in a way so that the open web is a real alternative to search and social? So to me, it's a matter of growing the pie by using AI, and then making that pie worth more by improving the ARPU, the value for every interaction we have, because we can better perform for advertisers. So for those reasons, one is inspirational. I hope I'm right. I hope the open web wins. 2, AI will grow the pie. And 3, the revenue per user should be bigger than it is now. We're very excited to share that. So for those who may not know, we have a business called Taboola News. It's a part of Taboola that is taking advantage of all the great content we have access to. And then when you buy a device of different sorts around the world, you can have a news experience that is personalized for you, that engages you before you go into the search and social madness. So we're very happy to announce that Samsung, rest of the world, so in many, many countries all around the world, will be integrating Taboola. In upcoming months, we're working on the integration. That's amazing. Samsung is obviously one of those. You have to pinch yourself that you work together with them. So we're very honored, we're proud. And what's great about it is not only is it a great partnership between Samsung and Taboola, but rather by doing a good job, every time consumers engage with that feed of content and click to discover a piece of information, a browser opens up. So we send you to the site you should be reading it on, which is fantastic. We want to be a source of traffic to quality journalism on top of making good business between the companies. So we're very excited about it, and stay tuned for a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
What are the benefits of using social media for performance advertising, and why is that on the rise?
Performance advertising? I think it's, if you think about businesses, big or small, it's when you're not sure, look at the world. We have tariffs, what's going to happen to margins? You have, economic kind of, it's not stable as it used to be. We're not sure what's going to happen. There's a lot on the line. And when you're in that position as a business owner, as an executive, as a contributor to that business, you're asking yourself, what do I do with that dollar to make sure that dollar is well spent? I can put it on TV. TV ads are good. But for the most part, they drive top of the funnel awareness. It is very rare that I'm going to watch a TV ad, scan a barcode, and open an insurance policy for myself. Unlikely. So it's important for spark curiosity, reach, and all those things. TV ads, good. But there's a trend in the industry to say, show me that money was well spent so you can do it again. And I think with all of that's happening around the world, I'm seeing a big trend with companies like Amazon that's doing such a good job. And in general, Netflix is into ads now. Uber is making more than $1 billion in ads. I mean, advertising is the new pink. Fortune 500 companies are all having meetings. They're all watching BTV videos to get educated on the market, so they can make educated decisions about what is their advertising strategy. So I think it's a big trend in the market to have an advertising strategy, and specifically, I think there's a performance advertising element of it, which takes most of the conversation, given the world we live in. And I suspect that while the advertising overall market just crossed the $1 trillion in size, it's a big market. It's irresponsible not to be in it. The performance advertising piece of it, I believe, will become the vast majority over time.
Makes perfect sense. One last question. You touched on a lot about the role that AI plays in the current landscape. So in terms of what Taboola is doing, how is the company leveraging generative AI, not just for advertisers, but for publishers?
AI is now literally in every part of our business. Internally with our 2,100 employees, from productivity perspective, it's all over the place. Before every meeting, before everything, every interaction we have, we use AI internally. Externally, we use AI to advertisers, anywhere from creative generation. You'd be surprised how difficult that may be to know which ad creative to make, how to make sure that it adheres to the policy, how to do it quickly enough because you may not have the resources to do it. So that alleviates a lot of pressure for marketers, again, big and small. So that is live for our self-service business. 1 in 4 ads now takes advantage of our GenAI creative engine. So that's fantastic. By far the biggest, though, investment we make as relates to AI is on the matchmaking. So when you go to CNBC, NBC News, USA Today, The Independent in England, anyone, Le Figaro in France, any one of our amazing publishers around the world, Yahoo, Apple News, we have to make, about 600 million people every day see Taboola across the web. So we have to make in less than a second a decision what ads might be relevant for you, what content might be relevant for you. So that matchmaking is multiplying 600 million people times tens of billions of impressions a day times tens of millions of campaigns that run in the network, and that's a very complicated task. So we have about 500 engineers. We're the best of the best out there. We're spending tens of millions of dollars on servers. I think we're one of the very few out there that are not just speaking about AI, but really putting it to work, making mistakes, fixing things, iterating. So that's the biggest investment we make, which is how do we improve the experience you have when you open any page on the internet.